We've mapped the ocean floor, we've sequenced the human genome, we've taken a photograph of a black hole 55 million light-years away. And yet, right here on Earth, there are things we cannot explain. Not "we haven't looked hard enough" things, not "give us another decade" things. Things that the best scientists on the planet have studied for years and walked away from shaking their heads. Today we're going through 7 of them, in order of how much they should be keeping you up at night. These aren't myths. These aren't ghost stories. Every single one of these is a documented, peer-reviewed, scientifically acknowledged mystery. And by the end of this video, you'll have genuinely no idea what's happening on the planet you live on. Mystery number 1, the hum. In the early 1990s, residents of Taos, New Mexico started reporting a low, persistent droning sound, like a diesel engine idling just out of sight, or a distant refrigerator that never switches off. Only about 2% of people in any given area can hear it. For those who can, it is relentless. People have reported chronic sleep deprivation, nausea, nosebleeds. Some have been driven to the edge of sanity by a sound nobody else around them can detect. Here's the part that makes it genuinely strange. Researchers have gone to Taos with the most sensitive acoustic equipment available. They detected nothing, no source, no matching frequency, no explanation for what these people are hearing. And it's not just Taos. The hum has been reported in Bristol in England, in Largs in Scotland, in Windsor in Canada. Different locations, same description, same low, relentless drone that instruments cannot find. The leading hypotheses include geological activity, industrial machinery transmitted through bedrock, or, and this is where it gets uncomfortable, very low-frequency military communications. None of them have been confirmed. The hum is still happening. People are still hearing it. Mystery 2, the sailing stones of Death Valley. In a dry lake bed in California called Racetrack Playa, there are rocks, some weighing over 300 kilograms, that move on their own. They leave long, clean trails in the cracked mud behind them. Some trails are straight, some curve, some rocks turn corners, some move in parallel, some seem to reverse direction. Nobody had ever seen them move, not a single documented observation for nearly a century of investigation. Researchers set up time-lapse cameras. The stones stopped moving. They removed the cameras. The stones moved again. In 2014, a team finally caught it on video. The mechanism turned out to involve a very specific combination: a thin layer of ice forming overnight, melting just enough in the morning sun to act as a lubricant, then wind pushing the rocks across a near-frictionless, wet surface. Case closed, right? Except the ice and wind conditions required are so specific, so rarely occurring, that they still can't fully predict when the stones will move. They still don't know why some trails curve while others run straight. They still don't know why rocks meters apart sometimes move in completely different directions at the same time. The mechanism is partially understood. The full picture is not. Mystery 3, ball lightning. Thousands of people across hundreds of years have described seeing the same thing: a luminous sphere, anywhere from golf ball to beach ball size, appearing during or after thunderstorms. It floats slowly, it passes through walls, it lasts anywhere from a few seconds to several minutes, and then it either silently disappears or it explodes. Some accounts describe it entering through closed windows. Some describe it following people. There are reports from inside submarines, inside aircraft, inside sealed buildings. Here is the problem. Despite thousands of credible eyewitness accounts, including accounts from trained scientists and pilots, ball lightning has almost never been captured on camera. It has never been reliably reproduced in a laboratory. The accounts are consistent enough that physicists take it seriously. But after decades of research, there is no agreed-upon explanation for what it is or how it forms. Proposed theories include microwave radiation trapped in plasma, combustion of silicon nanoparticles, quantum coherence effects, and antimatter. That's a real hypothesis on the table. The most honest scientific position on ball lightning today is, it almost certainly exists, and we have absolutely no idea what it is. Doodle, long list of hypotheses with question marks next to all of them. A big bold 4 drawn on screen, then we're only halfway. We're 4 in, and I promise you, the next 3 get stranger. Number 5 involves a signal that came from space, lasted 72 seconds, was never explained, and was never heard again. Number 6 involves a structure built with engineering precision that we genuinely do not know how was constructed. And Number 7 involves something happening inside your body right now that nobody fully understands. Keep watching. Doodle, an open book, pages filled with looping, unreadable script, and sketches of strange plants. Mystery 4. The Voynich Manuscript. Carbon dated to the early 15th century, this 240-page illustrated book is written in a language or code that no one, in over 600 years, has been able to decipher. It contains detailed illustrations of plants that don't match any known species, anatomical diagrams that don't match human anatomy, astronomical charts that don't match any known star system, women bathing in pools connected by elaborate tubing whose purpose is unclear. Doodle, a confused botanist looking at a plant drawing that has the wrong number of petals. Label, not a real plant. It is not a hoax. Statistical analysis of the text shows it has the entropy patterns of a real language, letter frequencies, word distributions, even something resembling grammar. It follows rules. They just aren't rules anyone recognizes. The world's top cryptographers have studied it, the NSA has studied it, teams armed with AI and machine learning have studied it. The manuscript has been linked at various times to Roger Bacon, Leonardo da Vinci, and 15th century alchemists, and none of those attributions have held up. The most likely explanation is that it was created by a single author in a constructed or heavily encoded language for reasons nobody can currently determine. What those reasons were, and whether the text actually means anything at all, is completely unknown. Doodle, a radio telescope dish, then a printout of data, 1 column circled in pen. Mystery 5, the wow signal. On August 15, 1977, astronomer Jerry Eman was reviewing data from the Big Ear radio telescope in Ohio. He was scanning for radio signals from space, specifically the kind of narrowband signal that would be difficult to produce naturally and might indicate intelligent origin. He found one. A 72-second burst of radio waves at exactly the frequency hydrogen emits, the frequency SETI researchers had specifically predicted an intelligent civilization might use to signal across space. It was so strong, so clean, so unexpected that Eman circled it on the printout and wrote one word next to it in red pen. Wow! It has never been detected again, not in the 47 years since. Hundreds of follow-up observations aimed at the same patch of sky have found nothing. It didn't repeat. It left no trace. Proposed explanations include a comet, rotating interstellar gas, and terrestrial interference. A 2017 paper argued it was caused by hydrogen clouds around 2 comets. But the comets in question weren't in the right position, and the signal was far stronger than a comet could produce. The WOW signal remains the strongest candidate for extraterrestrial radio contact ever detected, and we heard it once, for 72 seconds in 1977, and never again. Mystery 6. The Antikythera Mechanism. In 1900, divers discovered a Roman shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera. Among the artifacts was a corroded lump of bronze. Over decades of analysis, researchers discovered it was a mechanical computer, a system of at least 30 interlocking bronze gears capable of predicting solar and lunar eclipses, tracking the positions of the known planets, and calculating the dates of the Olympic Games. It is accurate, it is elegant, and it was built approximately 2,100 years ago. The next device of comparable mechanical complexity didn't appear in the historical record for over 1,000 years. We don't know who made it. We don't know how they made it. The level of precision in the gear teeth suggests access to manufacturing techniques that archaeologists cannot account for in ancient Greece. We have no other examples of anything like it from that era. No sketches, no references, no workshop where it might have been produced. One object, no predecessors, no successors, no explanation for how the knowledge to build it was acquired or why it vanished entirely after. Mystery 7. And I saved this one for last because it's the one you carry with you everywhere. Consciousness. Right now you are experiencing something. There is something it is like to be you. Colors look like something. Music sounds like something. Pain feels like something. There is a first-person experience happening inside you, an inner world, a sense of self, a feeling of being present. Neuroscience can tell us a great deal about the brain. It can map the regions that activate when you feel fear or joy. It can trace the circuits that process visual information. It can explain the mechanics of memory, attention, language. What it cannot explain is why any of that physical activity produces subjective experience at all. This is called the hard problem of consciousness, a term coined by philosopher David Chalmers in 1995. The problem isn't explaining brain function. It's explaining why brain function is accompanied by any inner experience whatsoever. Why aren't we just biological machines processing information in the dark? Nobody knows. Proposed frameworks include quantum effects in microtubules, integrated information theory, panpsychism, the idea that consciousness is a fundamental property of matter, the way mass or charge is, and the straightforwardly terrifying possibility that it will never be fully explained because the tools we use to investigate the world are themselves part of the phenomenon we're trying to understand. Every other mystery on this list is something outside you. This one is you. 7 mysteries, a hum with no source, stones that sail, lightning that floats through walls, a manuscript in a language that doesn't exist, a signal from space we heard once and never again, a machine 2,000 years ahead of its time, and an experience happening inside you right now that science fundamentally cannot explain. We live on a genuinely strange planet, and I think that's worth paying attention to. If you want more of this, subscribe to Doodle Science Lab, new video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Bad doodles, real science, real mysteries, and drop a comment. Which of these 7 do you think has the most unsettling explanation waiting to be found? I'm reading every single one.